Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Stray Gods. In our last episode, we left off just as we were about to meet scary old Persephone, who hates us, probably because whether she thinks we killed Calliope or not, we did steal her light, her godhood, so she's probably mad at us for, taking the place of her friend. That's my prediction anyway. Let's see if I'm right. Oh. Alright, should we get this last bit of Apollo dialogue? Maybe we should. I feel bad for having left it out last
time. Are we
time.
not going to see Persephone? I thought you found a way to her.
Yeah.
Wait, Persephone killed another idol.
Oh, long time ago, yeah.
What about all of Athena's rules? Wouldn't Persephone have been, I don't know,
executed? The murder of Hades is probably why we now have that rule. Back then, we heard Persephone had usurped Hades' throne, but we couldn't believe it. It just wasn't done. Now, of course, I look back and think we should have seen it coming. Oh, the benefit of hindsight.
Why didn't you see it coming? You're the god of prophecy.
When I look, I learned long ago not to.
Oh, there's even more. So yeah, I should not have skipped this dialogue.
So what happened to Persephone after
the murder? She survived like the rest of us. She got older, and when we came to the new world, I think she would have left us if it was allowed. It isn't. So instead she did as she pleased. She started a cult, became a crime boss.
A cult?
What?
It was after her last transition, but honestly, I have no insight into anything Persephone does these days.
What did he mean by transition there? Like, there are a few things I think that could mean. It could mean like what happened with Hermes and what happened with Grace and Calliope, where, the Eidolon goes from one person to the next and they take up the name and everything. Or it could be just that, remember how during Apollo's song it flashed back to like all those pictures of him and Calliope in like different historical outfits? I don't know. That reminded me a lot of like the crystal gems in the Steven Universe movie. Like how every time they get poofed and come back, like they've changed their outfit, and they show like in the past, like when they were around in revolutionary times, they dressed in revolutionary garb and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of that. Maybe the idols got a crystal gems thing going. But okay, wow, back to the point. Persephone started a cult and became a crime boss. You don't do those things, girl.
I should get going. Persephone awaits.
Right behind you.
Those are just things that you do not do. There's more to talk. That might be a glitch now. Okay. Now we're going to talk to Persephone.
If you're angry with anyone, Persephone, be angry with me. It was I who...
I will deal with you later. I was willing to leave you be, Grace, to wait until your guilt was certain. And yet here you are, in my domain, uninvited. Why? Are you here to beg for mercy? Are you here to challenge me? Should I be afraid?
I kind of want to be like, what is your problem? But A, I can kind of guess what that is. And B, we're playing Charming Grace. I haven't really been role-playing as hard as I should be in this role-playing musical. So let's be kind, charming, manipulative Grace. I don't want to fight.
I'm not trying to start a fight. Far from it. I came here hoping you could help me.
Help you? Perhaps you could help me instead. I'd like to understand a few things. Do you really expect us to believe that Calliope chose you? What's the real story? Did you stumble across her as she lay dying and desperate? Are you an accident? Did you learn what she was? Did you torture her, hold her at the point of death until she agreed to hand over her eidolon?
Persephone, this isn't...
You have every reason to try to prove your innocence, Grace, but I have no reason to help you.
I need Apollo's help. I mean, the question mark means that it won't, like, advance anything, but I don't know. That kind of implies to me that Apollo won't be any help. Let's just cut to the chase. Calliope lived at your apartment.
You knew Calliope.
We all knew Calliope.
She was staying at your apartment.
You knew her. Better than I or anyone else suspected.
Are you implying that I had something to do with her death?
Prove you didn't. That's how idols work, isn't it?
Oh? She gonna sing?
You hear that? You're in my house, little muse.
Rock and roll number,
You
maybe?
want answers? Fight for them.
Yeah.
A lost little girl. You shouldn't have come here. And I'm sure you're in the mood to make new friends.
Jazzier than I thought it would be.
Go home, little girl. The shadows drawing near. And you all alone. We both know how this ends. Let's see how far she bends. We all know how this ends.
Hope everyone's having a great night. I guess I'm this evening's sacrifice. But I'll see what I can do. You deserve a good show. Big hand for your usual MC. She's planned a brutal takedown just for me. Hopefully I'll last a couple rounds. You deserve a good show. I won't let you down.
My, we caught a butterfly, such a delicate thing. What a find, I hope she doesn't mind when we pull off her wings. Maybe you don't know who I am. Maybe you don't know who I am.
Well, I don't know anyone, I'm new. You, what's your name? What do you do? That's the thing with the front row. You're part of the show.
How keen a stand-up routine, knee deep in a grave. Works the crowd, wrapped in a shroud, a corpse in a cave. Maybe you don't know who I am. Maybe you don't know who I
Can't say I don't know who you
am.
are. Some sort of golden age type star. You've never really been on my radar. Before my time, a discontinued line.
Don't you have any idea what you're dealing with, child? Surprise, surprise, coins on your eyes. Give them to the ferryman.
Ooh.
Get it in your little head. You're spitting at the queen of the dead.
Then I guess you've heard it all before. Gave it my best and then you slammed the door. Raises the question, who else you'd ignore? less fool.
She just won't die.
Certain you can't be surprised anymore.
Come on, kid, scram.
You know, there's someone else that I speak for.
Still don't know why.
Do you hear that?
Calliope.
She had something to say. Would you turn her away?
Please don't do this.
What has that music woken up in you? Remember the other thing that she could do? Here we go. On the left now. Had you forgotten how to listen to all of the songs out there you never knew? Every night they come in here.
Dance and stamp your feet
Spend money on your beer.
as your skin rots off in sheets. You'll be back at my door, deep below the floor. You sing like this for hours. You're all being bullied by her powers. You think that all these people are your fans. You're playing them and they don't understand. Hear that? Silence. When he dragged me down there, that's all I heard. Not a single protest, not a word.
I mean no disrespect.
And instead of despair,
Here for your help.
killed him right there.
I'm stepping down. This is your crown. If you're here, make a sound. Not a lost
Little girl,
she's your queen. Well, you won.
so it appears. If what you told the chorus is true, why do you think Calliope came to you that night?
All right, so some thoughts about that song. I mean, not the song itself, just my thought process as I was playing through it. The three different colored options that appear. Obviously, each color corresponds to a certain path you can take in the song, and like the last thing you choose determines how the song ends and how the story progresses from there. I'm not sure if it's best or not to stick with a single color throughout the whole song. You know, because I started with blue, I felt like that fit with my character to try and play to the crowd, win them to my side, charm them, you know. And then I thought I would turn it a little more personal and go to green. When the crowd disappeared, I thought, actually they turned into spirits of the dead, but when we were alone on that bridge with Persephone, I decided to make it about her relationship with Calliope. And some of the things that Grace said in that portion of the song seem to refer back to what would have been said if I had chosen the green options earlier. So it created a little bit of dissonance. But ultimately, I think that playing to the crowd and then letting them go, choosing the green option in the end, and letting her win, that did mesh kind of well with the rhythm I had going with the song. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it's for the best to choose one color at the beginning of the song and stick through it with it all the way, or, you know, kind of feel out your options before the song ends. That might be what it's going for, kind of like. It gives you a lot of those options so that you can feel out what the different paths are in the song before you make your final decision. So, I don't know. I'm still figuring out how the songs kind of work. So is she asking why Calliope chose me? I mean, tell the truth, I have no idea.
I honestly don't know. I'm not even sure how she knew where I lived. She must have followed me.
I see. All right, Grace. Come with me. Calliope came to me years ago. She'd grown tired of arguing with the idols, tired of being branded a troublemaker. She couldn't watch the idols wither away without a fight. I knew how she felt, so I gave her the apartment.
How well did you know her?
So you must know better than anyone what she's been up to.
Not exactly. Calliope and I haven't spoken for at least 2 years. After I heard the news, I went to the apartment and turned it upside down. I
Okay.
had to know the truth.
That was her.
That was you?
Yep.
I didn't find anything. Nothing to say what she had been involved with, or gotten into, or who she might have been fighting with.
I'm not really suspicious of her at this point. I'm not suspicious of anybody. I have no idea who did it. I just kind of want to see what everyone has to say about it. You still think I did it?
So what now? Do you still think I'm guilty?
I also don't want to
You're
go around
clever.
accusing
You
people.
let me win our showdown, and that's a solid move. Calliope may well have chosen you.
If it wasn't Grace, that means someone else was behind Calliope's death. Someone who could keep their involvement hidden.
One of us.
Must it be an idol?
Does it have to be an idol? You thought I killed Calliope. Couldn't it have been some other mortal?
Despite how he might look, it's not a simple matter to kill an idol.
It was difficult enough to believe you had done it. If another mortal killed her, they somehow escaped detection. We found nothing, no evidence of a battle.
You looked?
Of course we looked. What do you think was happening while you waited? If Calliope was attacked elsewhere, even magic revealed no trace of it.
Did you say magic?
Wait. Did you say magic?
You can battle me through a song in a world of your own creation, and yet magic is beyond belief?
Well, sure. I just thought...
We have our powers just as you have yours.
I can grow a field of corn like nobody's business.
Some would say our powers are also magic, but true magic is a different and older power. Hecate's domain.
And it was of no use here.
We shouldn't rule it out. We haven't tried everything yet.
Did Calliope have enemies?
Did Calliope have any enemies? The way you talk about her, she must have. What? What am I missing?
Calliope had a way of making people angry. She could be argumentative.
Yes, but enough to make enemies who wanted her dead?
Not that you or I know of, apparently, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
Athena, Pan. I mean, I don't want to accuse my boyfriend, but uh, going to Athena being the killer seems a little obvious. I mean, like, she's in charge. I guess she's in charge. So she would have the most trouble with an uppity, argumentative muse. So yeah, maybe it could be Athena. I don't like the idea of accusing anyone at this point, honestly, but...
What about Athena? She seemed awfully insistent on declaring me guilty, don't you think?
Athena? No, Athena follows the rules.
Well,
Athena has one goal and one goal only, to protect the idols. And that included Calliope. She'll eventually drive us all mad with her vigilance, but break her own rules? I don't see it.
What about Pan? I don't necessarily know if I want to accuse them while I'm in the room with them.
What about Pan? He showed up at my place out of nowhere, right after I left the chorus.
He did what?
I have to wonder what his angle is.
He has one, that's for certain. Though I've never thought of him as a killer. It would be too... messy.
Still, we should consider the idea. For him to show up so quickly is odd.
Shouldn't we tell Athena?
Couldn't we go to Athena with this? If you've changed your minds and you're both part of the chorus.
Athena would be sympathetic, but the die has been cast.
She won't go back on the edict, not without clear evidence.
Oh, now you want evidence.
She acted on the information she had. If we want to sway her, we need something better.
Yeah, I mean, point out the obvious, I guess. I don't want to be all accusatory. Like, I haven't been, like, accusing people I've been talking to yet. But it's a question mark. I don't think it'll affect anything. And it's not like I'm trying to romance either of them.
For all I know, either one of you could have done it and you're just playing along.
Apollo is capable of many things, but lying? He was never any good at it.
Whereas we know how capable you are of murder.
Okay,
Oh,
this
geez.
is
The one and only god I killed deserved it.
Right. Sorry I brought it up. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know the idols. Don't you have any ideas?
I told you I wouldn't be of much help, Grace.
Did you now? That's unsurprising. When are you ever of help to anyone but yourself?
Says the woman who forced Grace to challenge her rather than answer a simple question.
Calliope died, Apollo. Calliope, who came with us all the way from the old world.
You think I don't know that? Are you forgetting what the Muses meant to me?
This won't help Calliope.
Please, both of you. None of this will help Calliope. I know you both miss her. I know you cared about her, but she's not completely gone. A piece of her is in me. She came to me for help, and I don't want to die any more than she did.
Calliope, I'm listening now. Tell us what end you were doomed to.
Calliope, blinded by fire, one match did you strike that consumed you.
How could you blame her? What could she have done to earn such a fate? You are blinded.
God of the sun hides from his own eyes. What would you know about fate?
You say that you knew her, she was family to us, yet you don't hesitate to accuse her. Oh, queen without a throne, go bitter with fury. Not everyone seeks to betray you.
Stop this. Please remember what we are here to do.
We must avenge a muse.
Apollo, your help is not needed here. Go ahead and abandon another muse.
How could you throw that gauntlet at me? Could your heart shrivel any further?
You abandoned me to a terrible fate.
You replay your injuries
It's
till
far
it's
too
too
late.
late.
You know how far I've been before I
Trapped.
snap.
This is
is
not
not
about
about
you. Enough! This helps no one.
Uh-oh.
There he is, God of the sun. Apollo, for my sake, take a deep breath. I need your help, not your anger. These old wounds, they confine you. You're more than your pain.
She abandoned us.
Follow him.
Oh, big choice.
Stay.
You scare me, Persephone. I'm sorry.
That was not my finest moment. Persephone will never let this go.
I mean, I do think it wasn't right for either of them to be fighting like that. But I don't want. Again, I feel weird, like, being accusatory of people. Let's just question, what was that about?
What the hell was that? You were one step away from full thunder and lightning.
Old habits die hard, especially around my family. That's why I've tried to avoid my fellow idols for so long. I don't like who I am when I'm with them.
I find it funny that the romance option there was like, it was totally hot how you were about to lose control of your magic powers and possibly hurt someone. That's very funny to me. I understand where that comes from. I mean, we don't gotta be his therapist right here. No wisdom with age?
You'd think being thousands of years old would make idols more mature. And yet...
Oh, I've forgotten 10 lifetimes by now. Perhaps my maturity was in one of those. At least coming here was useful. You have a better idea of where to start looking, right?
You're still helping me?
I thought you'd decide that getting me into the underworld was enough.
What? Bring you to Persephone and then shrug? Not my problem now?
I appreciate it.
What I meant to say is... thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry, I'm not used to asking people for help.
It's all right. I certainly know that tune.
Where do we look next?
Where do we look then?
I need to give it some thought. This won't be easy. If another idol is behind this, they know as well. They had a plan.
So you don't know where to look next?
I need time to sort it out. Just be patient, Grace.
Is Athena really not an option?
I have to ask, is Athena really not an option? She wouldn't see what you see? At all?
I respect Athena. She has dragged us into the modern age, sometimes kicking and screaming. She's why we're alive. But if I said that her need to keep us safe didn't drive her to extremes, I'd be lying. You represent a risk, Grace. To her, that is more important than any notion of compassion or justice.
How am I a risk?
I'm not that much of a risk, am I? I won't explode. What's the worst that could happen?
The worst is that we could be admitting either a murderer or a usurper into our ranks.
How awful.
She's protecting an idea as much as a physical reality. It's true. To her, there is no difference.
Is there anything I can do in the meantime? Someplace I can look?
Don't you want to relax? You haven't rested since this began.
Relax? Who can relax? I've been sentenced to death, Apollo.
Fair point. Even so, go home, Grace. The next time you see me, I'll have a better notion of what to do.
Fine. But I'm holding you to that.
Act 2. I'm getting achievement pop-ups, but they're not actually popping up. What the heck, Steam?
Hey, Freddy.
Hey.
Is everything okay?
Not really. I felt like crap after you
Yeah,
left.
we were a little mean.
I don't know why I acted like that. I just had this image of you being swept off into some new world without me.
Aw. You're forgiven. Well, I don't need to forgive her. She didn't do anything wrong. I don't really feel like I did anything wrong either, but I can't do this without you.
I get it, Fred, but I do need you. I don't know if I can do this without your help.
I do know more when it comes to Greek mythology. Though I don't know if that last word applies now that we...
Just say you'll help me. I beg you.
Isn't that a given? Just tell me what happened since I saw you last. Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
I wouldn't suggest saying that to her face.
And you ended up siding with Apollo? Lord of the Sun, god of prophecy? Do you trust him?
I think so.
I'm not sure. I think so. It doesn't seem like he's lying, but he's hard to read.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it.
So, what are your options? You need to go back to Apollo's place, right?
I could go back to the underworld. Make sure Persephone isn't taking my decision personally.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card, says, "Come by Olympus." I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
The idols live there. What could he want? I just spoke to him.
I just spoke to him at the underworld. If he wanted something, why didn't he just talk to me there?
Because he's creepy and wants to get you alone.
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddie.
The muse? Oh, the embodiment of inspiration. Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
Oh boy, we got options now. Let's look at the journal first, though. I don't even know how closely I want to read these because they do just summarize what happened. I like Grace's take on things though. Freddie was waiting at the apartment. She felt bad. I guess I have to keep in mind that my song power draws things out of people, right? The good and the bad, and I can't control which it is. At least it's nice to know that Fred's still on my side. More about Calliope. After years of arguing with the idols, Calliope left Olympus, and that's when she became friends with Persephone, who gave her the apartment. Persephone says they haven't spoken in 2 years, so she doesn't know what Calliope's been doing lately either. No more about them. More about Apollo, maybe. Wow, seeing Apollo and Persephone biting each other's heads off was really eye-opening. Do all the idols hold grudges against each other? If so, it's no wonder one of them got murdered. We got what we want for the underworld, but Apollo and Persephone just couldn't stand working together for more than 5 minutes. Finally, he had enough, and so did I. Thankfully, Apollo is still willing to help me out, so much for "I'll just make everything worse," Grace, but says he'll need to give our next step some thought. If there's an idol behind it, then they're a tricky one. Which, fantastic. Exactly what I need. Persephone laughed when I asked if Athena might be a suspect, like the suggestion was ridiculous. Athena's entire existence is based on protecting the idols, and apparently she'd never break her own rules. She sounds so fun. That, but unironically, I want to be best friends with her. She almost immediately challenged me to a song duel, which I let her win, and I think she knew it. Thus, she finally answered my questions, even if it didn't mean much. She gave Calliope the apartment, but because she felt so sorry for her. They haven't spoken in maybe 2 years. Seems like the idols do this a lot. Things broke down very quickly. Persephone couldn't resist taking pot shots, and Apollo couldn't help but respond. It was pretty sad to watch. Eventually, Apollo lost his cool completely and stormed out, and I went with him. At least we got what we came for. Neither Apollo nor Persephone seemed to consider Pan much of a suspect. He is not a murderer, according to them, even though his sudden involvement is really suspicious. And nothing about Eros. Well, we know what we're gonna do. Apollo probably has some valuable insight now, but, you gotta make sure you clinch down the romance path early, so we're gonna go talk to Pan. Didn't even have to think that hard about it. There's his tree again.
I'd say hello, Grace, but I'm afraid that look on your face might be catching.
What is this place?
It's a garden, darling. Surely even mortals have them.
It's beautiful.
This building, all those people I pass getting up here. Are they all idols?
Oh, at least some of them. Welcome to Olympus, dear Grace. Our home hidden away in plain sight. Marvelous, isn't it?
Is Olympus... How many idols are there? That's more interesting to me.
How many idols are there? I've met, what, less than 12?
Not even, like,
Oh,
6.
I don't know. 20, 30. Our numbers have dwindled so much I've stopped keeping track.
I didn't know there were that many gods.
We're not all equally legendary, it's true. Some idols were barely worshipped, others not at all. Indeed, not all of us are idols. Some are merely immortal. Hangers-on, if you will. You'll meet them all, given time.
I was wrong. I counted while he was talking. We've met 8 idols. Not including ourselves, I guess. Do most idols live here?
Idols live here? I mean, Calliope didn't, obviously. Apollo doesn't either.
One must have special dispensation from Our Lady of Wisdom, Athena, before they can take up a private dung heap like Apollo's.
Am I gonna have to give him my apartment?
That's rather putting the cart before the horse, darling. First, you must outlive the week.
Right. Good point.
Is it hidden?
I've passed this part of the city 100 times. I've never seen this building. Was it always here? Or...
Our Lady Hecate provides glamours that allow certain things to go unseen, such as my glorious horns. Olympus is the same. Those invited see it. Those who aren't see exactly what they expect. It's not anywhere as grand as in the old country, but it serves its purpose.
This isn't grand? Yeah, I gotta say, the scenery in this game, it doesn't do like a whole big cityscape, but these set pieces, these little set pieces, like this, like that flash to the underworld, there are some beautiful backgrounds in this game.
I don't know, Pan. Olympus seems pretty grand to me.
As if mortals would know any better. This isn't the first time you've been here. I'm sure Hermes took you to Athena's dreary office.
That's here? Huh.
Good one, that Hermes. Almost as dull-witted as the original, but biddable.
You asked me to meet you here?
I did. As I recall, you owe me a favor that I now wish to collect, if you'd be so kind.
I was expecting this.
Oh, sure. I'm totally in a position to help others right now. Lay it on me.
Here's the thing. A friend has begged for my help, and you're far better suited than I to offer what he requires. I'll give you a key to reach the reliquary where he resides. You help him, and then we're even. If that's not enough incentive, the reliquary is also where you'll find the lovely Hecate. A sorceress of her power could aid your quest. What do you say?
What is a reliquary?
What is this reliquary? Doesn't that have something to do with the bones of saints or something?
Not those relics. Our relics. The relics of ancient gods. Magical treasures collected over thousands of years. Books, mainly. We store them in a faraway place so no one unsavory can get their hands on them.
Unsavory like you?
Unsavory like most. Athena has decreed that these relics are not to be used by any save Hecate and herself. A rather dull waste of so much amassed knowledge and power, but who am I to judge? I'm not leader of the chorus.
Would Hecate really help me?
This Hecate. Do you think she could help me?
If she's of a mind. She is the goddess of dark magic, the creator of all our marvelous glamours. If anyone can help you, it is she.
And if she's not of a mind?
Then she won't help you. Grace, that part is up to you. I can't be expected to do everything, can I?
What kind of favor is it?
This person I'm to help. What does he want? And why can't you do it?
Well, Grace, there are some things you're better equipped to handle than I. This, as I understand it, is a delicate matter of the heart. One that requires a muse's hand.
A matter of the heart.
What, did you think I was sending you to rough someone up? Set something aflame? Don't be absurd. The man has an issue with his love life. Even if you can't help him, I'll treat the effort as worth the favor.
Is a reliquary dangerous? We
If
should ask
these
this.
relics are off limits, does that mean they're dangerous?
Some, but I'm not asking you to chase after any of that nonsense. In fact, I'd advise against it.
But what if one of those relics could help me?
My, such an adventurer you are. It's possible, but ask Hecate first. She, and I mean this with complete and uncharacteristic seriousness, is not an idol you or anyone wishes to cross.
That's it?
So that's it? Fix up someone's love life? Nothing trickier than that?
Oh, the way you talk, Grace. It makes me blush.
Well, it's just
I
that...
trade in willing favors, Grace. If I didn't, no one would want to do as I ask, and then where would I be? I may seem untrustworthy, but allow me to reassure you. If I wish you harm, you will walk into that harm knowingly and with open arms.
Yeah. I was thinking that seems like a good time for a romance dialogue, because... Ooh, that was quite the turn of phrase. You have a very sly tongue.
You're saying you can talk me into anything?
Anything you would enter into willingly and with eyes wide open, which covers a great deal. Yes.
That's surprisingly ethical of you, Pan.
I find consent wildly attractive, Grace.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna make that joke, but then he did it for me. I'll consider it.
I'll think about it. But no promises.
Marvelous. The gentleman you seek is named Asterion. Lovely fellow, quite harmless. I'll send a package to your domicile that contains directions and the key you'll need to reach the reliquary.
I said no promises.
Well, if you decide to go, Grace, you'll still need all those things. Say hello to darling Hecate on my behalf, will you?
I can go head to the reliquary or go talk to Apollo. Let's check the journal. His natural habitat, it turns out, is a giant garden on the roof of a magic office building. Go figure. Anyhow, he's calling in the favor I owe him and sending me to some place called the Reliquary, which I get to by using a magic key and finding a shipping container at the docks to fix an idol's love life. Weird, but okay. I guess I assume Pan's favors would involve, I don't know, mysterious things, illegal things. There has to be more to this. Okay, so, I'm very excited to do the Reliquary thing because, Asterion, the Minotaur, has the most intriguing, to me, voice actor in this entire game. He is played by Rahul Kohli, who I know from one thing and one thing only, which is the most bizarre and beautiful and terrible but fascinating television show I've ever seen called iZombie. He plays maybe not the best character, one of the best characters, Dr. Ravi Chakrabarti, who, I don't know, I don't need to tell you what the show's about, but I had no idea that this guy was into video games. So when I was looking through Next Fest demos and I saw this one was a musical, I checked it out, I watched the trailer, and I stopped at the voice cast, and that was the name that made me like stand up out of my seat. Go like, what the heck? I told my brother about it later, and he was like, oh yeah, that guy loves video games. He has like a podcast where he talks to people about video games, and so I was like, okay. I'm very excited to see what he can do video game wise, because he was pretty entertaining on iZombie. So I actually think I'm going to end this episode here, but I'm going to start recording the next one right away. And I think I'm going to go to the reliquary first. Maybe we should focus on the quest a little bit to actually find the murderer. But I wanna talk to Asterion. Let's let ourselves get distracted. All right. I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Stray Gods.